This video explains turning left from a major to a minor road. It assumes you know how to use basic controls, move off from a standstill, change gear and come safely to a halt. If you're learning in a car with an automatic gearbox, you can ignore the gear changes and use of the clutch in this video. There are a number of different mnemonics to help you remember the correct sequence when performing any exercise in a car. The simplest is MSM, which stands for Mirrors Signal Maneuver, and it applies to most exercises in a car. For junctions, this is often expanded to MSPSL. The video explains how and why you should use this to turn left from a major to a minor road. Your instructor or examiner has asked you to take the second road on the left. Let's take a quick look at what we're trying to achieve. Now let's take a look in some detail. We start the video already moving, approaching a minor road on the left. The first letter is M for mirrors. We need to know what is directly behind us and how close it is. If someone's following close behind, we can consider an early signal to give them extra warning that we're about to slow down. We also need to know what's on our left side. Pedal cycles, especially downhill, or motorcycles may be approaching quickly on our left. We therefore check the rear view mirror and the left door mirror before we give a signal. This is a good habit before we slow down for any reason. Next is S for signal. We should always give a signal to any road user who may benefit, but not if it may confuse another road user. If you signal too early, beware who may react to your signal, such as a vehicle emerging from a road you plan to pass. What might the driver of the red car do if you signalled before you reach them? If you are certain that nobody needs your signal, you may skip the signal. In the early days, you may find it easier to signal even if nobody would benefit. Be aware that any type of road user, including cyclists and pedestrians, may benefit from a signal. The P is for position. For the entire approach, the turn and the exit, we're aiming to remain about 1 metre from the curb. This is what's called your normal driving position. Too close to the curb during a left turn, and even if your front left wheel misses the curb, your rear left wheel may hit or even mount the curb. The rear of the car takes a tighter turn than the front whenever you turn. Only the front wheels steer the car, except for very few cars which steer with all four wheels. The S is for speed. Depending on the type of road, we may approach a left turn at anything up to 70 miles per hour. For most junctions, you'll reduce to around 10 miles per hour at the turning point. Less for a really tight turn and a little more if it's gentle and visibility is good. This is why we must check the mirrors and give a signal before we slow down. It's more efficient and safer to slow down early and gradually rather than late and quickly. Once we know it's safe, brake gently to show your brake lights to anybody behind. Gradually increase brake pressure and give yourself time to change gear after you've gently released the brake and before you turn. We'll discuss changing gear and braking at the same time in a future video. It's vital to bring the clutch up before you steer to keep the engine in control of your speed. With the clutch down, the car is not under full control and will react differently to slopes, especially downhill. Most junctions are best driven in second gear, depending on your speed. Change from the gear in which you approach directly to second gear just before you turn. Many decades ago, drivers were taught to change down gears one at a time to help slow cars down because brakes were not as effective as the disc brakes on today's cars. Finally, L for look. Check for motorbikes etc. in the left mirror, then make sure the minor road is clear, that no pedestrians are crossing and that it's safe to continue. You have priority over other vehicles when you're turning left into a minor road. Traffic from the opposite direction, turning right, should wait for you and allow you to turn first. Pedestrians should wait on the footpath for you to turn, but they might not. You will have to stop if pedestrians are already crossing or if they step off the footpath. Do not expect other road users to follow all the rules correctly and be prepared to compensate for their mistakes or impatience. It's your job to try and prevent a collision, even if it's someone else to blame. Start to straighten the wheel before you're finished turning, or you'll end up on the footpath. Most cars will cancel the signal for you most of the time, but be sure to cancel it before anyone is confused by it. Check the rear view mirror and the right door mirror for anyone who may be catching or even attempting to overtake you before you accelerate. This is the first of 4 main junction videos, and many of the principles discussed here also apply to approaching junctions on the right, as well as emerging from minor to major roads, both left and right. Thank you for watching.